Hey everyone, so this is my first time doing this. This is super weird not seeing you all. First off, I just want to say I miss everybody. I hope that everybody's okay. All your families are okay as well. As you can see, I'm over here repping pace all day, every day. So just bear with me. I'll probably make some mistakes in this first video that I'm making because it's new for all of us, right? But the good thing is that I will go through this lesson and I'll explain the important parts and I'll show you a couple things on how to do this, all right? So, first off, what we're talking about today is Vietnam. All right, so Vietnam is a country in Southeast Asia. You can Google it and find it on a map. And it's mostly tropical weather, a lot of rivers, and has a very interesting history. So we're going to go through, but today what we're going to focus on is on Vietnam's Declaration of Independence, right? And the effect that it's not only going to have in Vietnam, but also predicting how that's going to affect other parts of the world. So first, what I'm going to go through with you all is the do now, right? So looking at that image, it says Bangladesh, India, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. And those are dominoes, right? And on the far right side, you've got a man that's pushing the dominoes. And at the top of his head, something, it says Viet Cong, right? And at the other side, you have a soldier holding it up. And just to be clear, right, that's a soldier from Viet. That's a soldier. The Viet Cong is a soldier from Vietnam. The other soldier is a soldier that's either from the United States or Europe. All right. So think about what do you notice? What do you think it means? And really, right, we're just focusing in on what's the larger connection here. What's going to happen when Vietnam falls, right? So the second thing I'm going to go to, right, is looking at a map of Vietnam because it's important for us to know geography. So looking at this map, right, Vietnam is very coastal, has a lot of access to water. And if you notice, China is right above it. Right next to it is another country called Laos, Cambodia, and it's very close to Thailand. So looking at Vietnam and looking at this map, right, do you think Vietnam's geography makes it easy to invade? So think about what we've learned about in history before. Think about other places that have been easy to invade or vulnerable to invasion, right? Is this place going to be a place where other countries can come in? And really think about that. And you're going to answer that right here at the bottom. Okay, so you can answer that on your version of this, right? That you're going to open up. Everybody's going to have their own copy, and you'll answer the question right here. So, for example, if you think that Vietnam's geography does make it easy to invade, then you'd write Vietnam's, or you type rather, Vietnam's, oops, Vietnam's geography makes it easy to invade because. All right, now I type fast. Mr. Lowe had a crazy computer teacher many, many moons ago that made us type every single day, and if you got it wrong, he'd yell at you. All right, so that's where you're going to put your answer there. All right, and again, you're free to rewatch this 1,000 times. Um, the third thing that you want to go through, right, is a French conquest of Vietnam. So you have to understand, Vietnam was conquered by the French in the 1800s. All right, so during this wave of imperialism, which we've gone through before, France conquers a lot of Southeast Asia. So there's a short clip on what the French did there and what the effects were there and what the Vietnamese people did as a response. So you are going to write a 3-2-1, right? Or rather, you're going to fill out a 3-2-1 organizer that me, Mr. Gillot, made for you to make your lives easier. And you're going to write down 3 facts, two wonderings or questions, and 1 big takeaway, right? So you're going to watch this video. It's on PBS. You're just going to click on the link right here as I'm doing. All right, you see, like I'm clicking on it. Bam, 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 should be coming up. And there we go. All right, so you watch it. It's only a 2 minute and 36-second video, but there's a lot of information in it, and it's a lot of visuals. Right? So make sure you are opening up that 3-2-1 organizer. All right. So moving forward, Here's just two slides on some important notes. All right, I'll just go through this. So this guy, right, one of the most, a very important leader in the 20th century, 1900s. All right, his name is Ho Chi Minh, and he was a communist leader, right? And he founded, or he helped to found Vietnamese resistance against the French, the Japanese, and later on the Americans. But we're just focusing in on the Japanese and the French for today. All right, but just know this guy Ho Chi Minh, right? I'll highlight his name here. Ho Chi Minh, the guy on the left over here, was a communist leader in Vietnam. All right, I'm not going to go too crazy about his background. Just know that he was a communist leader in Vietnam. Okay. Fun fact about him: he spent some time in New York as a cook. Next thing, right? Is the important date of when Vietnam gets its independence from France. All right, so in 1954, the Vietnamese, right? They're called the Viet Minh. These are the communist forces. We'll highlight them right here. All right. These are the communists of Vietnam, all right, and they are going to attack the French military in Vietnam, and they're going to kick them out, basically. And Ho Chi Minh is going to become the leader of Vietnam, and Vietnam is going to be declared communist. Now they're going to split it up into two places, right? North Vietnam is going to be communist. South Vietnam is going to be anti-communist. All right. So in the north, the leaders Ho Chi Minh, supporters are the Soviet Union and China. Right. And think about why are there supporters of the USSR and China? What's the reason for that? And in the north, you have a leader named Din Ziem, I believe his name is, and his supporters of the United States and France. So again, think about historical context. Why would they have supported South Vietnam? All right. And what you will do next, right, is you are going to analyze a primary source. So you're going to analyze the Vietnamese Declaration of Independence. Ho Chi Minh was a big fan of the American Declaration of Independence, so he modeled the Vietnamese Declaration of Independence after America's. All right, so you are going to identify the purpose of that document. You're going to go through it, and you're basically going to show which parts are important to you, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. All right, so when you're looking at that document, and again, everybody's going to have their own copy, right? You're going to go through it, and what you're going to do is you are going to annotate for what's important and what do you think is the most important parts. All right, so for example, in the first one, right, I'm looking at this as Declaration of Independence of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, September 2nd, 1945. And the first one says, all men are created equal. They are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So what sticks out to me is this first line, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight it. Click on the highlighter button up here. Let's see. I like the color red, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to say all men are created equal, right? I'm going to highlight that part. Now, the important part is, right, if you are annotating a document like this, you just add a comment. So at the top there is a button that says add comments. So I'm going to write Ho Chi Minh believes all men were created. Believed all men were equal. I'm also going to put a note in how it just says men. If man leaves out. All right, and then once I'm done with that comment, I just put comment there, and voila, you have an annotation. All right, so again, if you're like, how the hell did Mr. Jalil just do this? Just watch this again and just follow the directions, okay? After you're done with that, you are going to, and these are the directions for the text, right? Use the comment feature to annotate the text, at least 3 comments explaining which parts are important to you and why. The expectation is you are going to read that whole, you're going to go through that document, right? and choose which ones are most important to you. Okay, and then the wrap up is really important. Okay, so it says must include at least one. So you're answering the learning target, right? Predict how Vietnam's Declaration of Independence will affect Asian countries by analyzing a documentary and a primary source in a written response. So, sounds like a mouthful, but this is stuff that we've done in class many, many times. All right, I'm going to pull up the sheet that you will write on. Give me a moment. Let's go to there we go. All right. So Vietnam short response, right? So this is going to be the short response. This is where you answer that learning target, right? Predict how Vietnam's Declaration of Independence will affect Asian countries by analyzing a documentary and primary source in a written response. So you want to think about if Vietnam becomes communist, what will happen in other countries? Will other countries become communist? Or will they resist against communism? All right, so that's a big question here. So you can begin by answering, right, or just restating the question. Vietnam's Declaration of Independence will affect Asian countries by, right? So I'll leave that sentence starter for you there. And then you just fill in whatever evidence you got, whether that's from the documentary. I mean, you should really be using all three, from the documentary, the notes, and the primary source. All right. Another thing that I just wanted to show you all, just very quickly. I know I'm jumping around a bit, but let's see. So just wanted to show you the 3-2-1 organizer. You're very welcome. So this is where you will write down your 3-2-1 after you watch that 2-minute 36-second clip. All right. So I'm expecting that everybody fills this out. Again, you just put your cursor right there and just type right into it. All right, and it just saves automatically. And that is it. So once you are done with the Vietnamese Declaration of Independence, then with your short response, then you click Turn In, right? And then you're going to click Turn In for this one as well. All right, and that is pretty much it. If there are any questions, I will be available. I think my office hours at 10:30, but I'll make an announcement about that. Have a great one, and I will do another video soon.